The altimeter read useless numbers while the two converging spotlights told the truth. At 60 feet above the dark water, the cones met on the surface and formed a white ring under the Lancaster's belly. The speed crept toward 232 miles per hour. The engineer called it flat, steady, and the bombardier locked his gaze through a simple V-shaped sight clamped to the nose. The towers of the Mona rose like gateposts. A backward spun cylinder dropped, skipped once, twice, then slurred under the surface and ran its last yards as if on rails. The blast came up through the airplane's ribs and out across the reservoir. When mist cleared, a plume boiled up where the wall had been smooth seconds before. 2 years of thinking had led to that run. A bomb that could be spun backward, skim across water, climb over torpedo nets, kiss a dam face, sink to a set depth, and explode with a wall of pressure that masonry could not disperse. Barnes-Wallace insisted such a thing could work. He called the mine Upkeep. It was a steel cylinder built to be rotated to high RPM by a motor before release. It demanded an airplane strong enough to carry it and adaptable enough to fly lower than doctrine liked. The Avro Lancaster fit, once stripped of weight and refitted with special crutches and release gear, the spinning motor, and a fairing. In early 1943, Wing Commander Guy Gibson took command of a new unit, number 617 Squadron, to train for one job. Low level meant a different language. Altimeters lied that close to the ground, so crews used twin-angled spotlights whose beams met on the water only at 60 feet. A wooden sight on the nose fixed the range by fitting the towers of the target dam into its arms. The plan called for 3 targets first, and a 4th if routes and weather allowed. Breach the Mona and the Ader, both masonry, and damage the Sorpe, an earthen dam that needed a different approach. Enepe was on the list, but difficult to reach in the dark. Strike on a bright May night, when a nearly full moon would light the valleys. On May 16, 1943, just after 9 p.m., 19 modified Lancasters lifted off from Scampton in 3 waves. Routes traced canals and rivers across the Netherlands and Germany, over flak posts and wires, each radio mast noted not as a landmark, but as something that could kill. The first group aimed for the Mona. The second struck short. More runs followed. Gibson flew through the searchlights and flak to mark the track and then orbited to call in each attacker. Mines walked along the face. One finally bit deep, and the wall let go in a hollow, patient way, as if it had waited and now decided. A wedge opened. Water took the shape of release, punched through, and for a moment, the middle section of the dam folded. The reservoir moved like a released muscle. While the Mona gave way, another set of crews made for the Eder. Fewer guns waited there, but the approach was a knot of hills and turns. Pilots had to snake down a steep valley, flatten at the last seconds, hold the converged lights, keep 232, drop at the towers, and haul the bomber up before rock. 2 crews waved off to try again. When the mine at last hit and sank to depth against the wall, the breach came on a growing, tearing line, then a dark rush pouring toward the Fulda, lifting bridges and clearing track down valley. The Sorpe was different, an earthen dam on a plateau with little room for a straight run. The method changed. Instead of skipping, crews flew along the crest at low height and dropped directly onto the embankment to chew at compacted earth. The first blow scarred it, but did not break it. Others added wounds in the night. The Enepe saw attempts beaten by cloud and navigation errors. One crew later realized they had attacked the Bever, a smaller dam in a parallel valley. In the dark, valleys could be cousins. Losses were heavy. Of the 19 Lancasters that left Scampton, 8 did not return. Some hit high ground, some were caught by light flak over canals, some dazzled and pinned by searchlights. In all, 133 airmen flew. 53 were killed and 3 captured. Those who landed brought back airplanes with exhausts burned white, aerials snapped, paint scoured from leading edges, and engines that ran with new noises after brushing the earth for hours. The water went to work as soon as the walls broke. Downstream from the Möhne, a fast brown board of flood pulled barges from moorings, smashed bridges, and swept lumber piles into moving islands. The Eater's release ran toward Kassel. Power stations tripped, shops and houses on low ground flooded to their eaves. The dead were counted later in ranges, over 1,000, often put around 1,300 to 1,600, including many forced laborers housed near factory lines. Trains were halted, roads cut, and for days the industrial heartland lived by detour and repair. Gibson returned to Scampton and walked the line between hard facts and grief. Barnes-Wallace saw the crews come home, saw how many did not, and understood that proof and cost could live in the same hour. Honors followed. Gibson received the Victoria Cross. Others were decorated for specific runs. But the squadron's work did not stop. 617 kept flying precision jobs with special weapons built to smash hardened structures with shock rather than blast alone. What stayed with crews from that night was not triumph so much as the exactness of the task. Flying a heavy bomber at 60 feet feels like holding a wide truck on black ice. The meeting of the two light beams on the water mattered more than the instruments. The sight on the nose mattered more than intuition. Numbers ruled. Height, speed, distance between towers, and a human hand pushed them true in air that bucked and shivered. Navigators tapped pencils flat. Pilots kept their thumbs light. Everyone counted seconds aloud. After the floods, repair records documented kilometers of track replaced, pylons raised, turbines cleaned, silt cleared from farm fields, and temporary spillways cut into broken faces. Some of that labor came fast, some dragged, all of it pulled men and machines from other fronts. Later histories argued over the raid's strategic weight, how many production days lost, how soon power was restored, what it cost the RAF in rare crews and aircraft, but agreed on the immediate disruption and on the moral fog that hangs over any strike that moves destruction downstream overnight. Anniversaries brought survivors back to quiet rooms. They spoke about the work, turning a Lancaster inside a valley that felt a size too small, clearing a windmill by a second, seeing a dam move in moonlight like a cliff deciding to breathe. In displays, an upkeep looks like a steel drum with a nameplate. It does not show the spin or the skip, the slap of water, the way a bomb could be made to act like a torpedo that hated nets. The raid's traces are easy to list. 2 dams breached, Sorpe damaged, Enepe attacked in error or cloud, 8 Lancasters lost, 53 airmen killed, 3 captured, flood casualties tallied in the low thousands by varying sources, power and transport cut, then rebuilt under pressure. The image that lasts is immediate, beyond any production ledger. It is a bomber over black water, spotlights meeting in a ring, a backward-spun cylinder letting go, and a wall where stone looks like landscape until it moves. Thank you for listening to Last Post History. Subscribe for more true stories from the world at war.